What are they hiding? Just a simple question. What are they hiding? And you can add to it from you. To make it more specific, what are they hiding from you? One thing you need to understand about worldly people, they operate in darkness. It doesn't have to be stinking, filthy darkness like reprobates do, but it's still darkness. And why is it darkness? It's because you can't see clearly what's going on. It's confusion. Even when they are firm and consistent with their motives, it's still darkness because they're really hiding the fact that they're not God, that they can't have control. And that's why they're so offensive with their attitude in an open way, just to get a hold on you so you won't notice that they're trying to be something they can't be. What are they hiding from you? Let's say that one day a body is found near a pond in a neighborhood. And now forensics are there, the police comes. What do you think the detectives are going to do? The detectives are going to ask questions to the people that live there. But what if some of the police officers say, "Sir, it's not from concern what they did the night that this individual passed away." Then the detective tells the police officer, "Listen, there's a body that's found. Someone's life was taken. This is their neighborhood. They are responsible for what they enable or what they allow to happen over here. So if they allowed things to happen that led to the death of this individual, they are to blame. And I will blame them for it. I don't care if they want to hear it or not. They have nothing to will, nothing to want. There's no such thing as consent in this situation. They are obliged to comply with justice so that people will find out what happened and so that justice is served. Someone has been murdered. It happened in the neighborhood, so they are obliged to comply with the solution. We need to find the perpetrator, we need to find out what happened, and we need to make sure such things don't happen again. And they form the community, so they are responsible for what they enable and what they allow. So we are going to ask them where they were, and if they don't want to comply, we'll charge them and they can go to jail. And if they comply but their answers don't add up, they are in trouble too. So they have no option to say no, they have no option to consent or not, they will answer our questions. That's the attitude of the detective. And that's the attitude the detective needs to have. Why? Because if the detective would have considered their quote-unquote free will, they would never solve any case. Remember what I said in the previous video, that every generation of every ethnicity in every community has something to hide. Worldly people are in darkness because in darkness you don't see clearly what's going on. And because you don't see things clearly, they can get away with things they naturally shouldn't be able to get away with. But because there's darkness, people are so distracted by all the contention, all the drama, they don't see clearly what's going on. Remember what I said years ago, and I also said it in a few recent videos. This whole idea of mind your own business is dumb. Am I saying you should jump into every situation? No, I'm not saying that either. I'm saying is you should be watchful and alert to your environment, to what's going on around you. If you're only going through life focus on this, what's in front of you, you are delusional. But that's what a lot of people do. They're focused like this in a tunnel vision. But whatever happens outside the tunnel vision doesn't exist to them. And that's why so much bad stuff happens in the world, and they keep on happening because people live like this. They don't pay attention to what's going on around them. Let's say you live in a neighborhood, and one day you see a lot of police officers, and there's an ambulance. And then you hear that your neighbor passed away for 2 years already. And then the police interviews you about it. And you tell them, "I don't know what happened to my neighbor." And then the police also ask you, "How come he's your neighbor? He's been laying dead in his house for 2 years. The corpse was rotting, and you just don't notice that you haven't seen your neighbor for 2 years? Any outsider who would listen to this or would see this would think, hold on a minute, something's wrong here. And even if you're not involved in anything harmful that happened to your neighbor, you will likely become a suspect because it's very suspicious that someone lives that close to you, but you don't even notice that they're not there. Now, sometimes that's the case because some people just don't notice anything. They're way too naive and way too inconsiderate. But let me tell you one thing. Often people do notice things. They just don't want to admit what they've noticed, because once they admit to themselves what they've noticed, they're now responsible to do something about it. And they don't want to. So they don't do anything about it, just avoid it. And when things escalate, now they don't want to feel guilty. They don't want anyone else to know that they were aware, but they just didn't do anything. So now they will cause trauma and conflict, just that attention is taken away from them. Whenever you have someone who's either too secretive or they're always distant or very straight up, keeping it real with others, that's an individual that has something to hide. And if you are watchful enough, you'll notice what they're hiding. So, what are they hiding from you? They walk in darkness, because in darkness you can't see everything that they're doing. Because if you would be able to see everything they're doing, you would think, what? Listen, your parents are hiding things from you. Things they don't want you to know about them. Because if you knew those things about them, you would treat them quite differently. You would realize that they may not be that honorable. Now, if you have honorable parents that serve Christ, that's different. But not everyone has parents that serve Christ, and not everyone has honorable parents. A lot of parents are just human beings who had sex and the babies came out of it, naturally. And you are one of those babies. But that doesn't mean that they are honorable beings just because they made a baby. They are reprobate, filthy people making babies. Okay? And they're still filthy and reprobate after the babies are born and the babies are grown adults. Some of you, your parents, grandparents are hiding things from you. Some of your relatives are hiding things from you. Your co-workers may hide things from you, maybe hide things from you. Your boss may hide things from you. There are many people hiding things from you. And this whole idea of it's none of your business or it's their life, it's their private life, privacy, those are all BS concepts that don't exist. Whenever people are hiding something from you, check why they're hiding something from you. If they have a surprise party with someone else, okay, that's different. If it's a colleague that's working on a case for a client, okay, due to the policy of the company, he may not be allowed to share information about the client to others, that's different. If there's a professor and he is preparing an exam for students, okay, that's different. But when people are hiding things from you without any natural justification, then know that there are bigger things that they're involved in. That if that would come to the light, they would lose. And because they don't want to lose, they want to control how you perceive them. That's what all this thing of privacy, private lives, consent, boundaries often comes down to. People want to control how you see them. Because by controlling how you see them, they kind of want to control how you treat them. Because if you were able to see through them and see everything about them and see them for what they exactly are, they wouldn't have a grip on you. And they want a grip on you. So they want to control what you know about them. They want to control how you perceive them and even condition you how to perceive them. They often use violence or blackmail for it so that they can have a hold on you. So what are they hiding from you? I'm not telling you to become obsessed in trying to find out what others are hiding from you. Just realize if they're worldly people, that means they're not serving Christ, there is something they're hiding. They may not be hiding things from you, but there's something they're hiding. Even if it's something that isn't necessary to hide, they're hiding. That's what worldly people do. So, always be aware of this. And whenever there's an awkward situation, when you sense that something doesn't add up, but nobody wants to talk, then know that something bad is going on, and it's been going on for a long time. It doesn't have to relate to you directly, but something bad is going on. So be watchful. That's it for now. Keep agreeing with Christ and be at peace.